So don't give into that power, that to the ego. Don't give your power to your false self when you're not ready. Because what does the ego want? What does our false self? What do we do when we're attached to the things in life, like this form and everything, is to always protect itself from death in all forms, right? Death of being acknowledged, death of being perfect, death of life itself, death of losing things, death of losing people, death of many things, right? Okay. Death of being right, death of being like up here, death of being like a king, death of being like a god, death of being divine, death of being everything. So the list goes on, because the ego wants to protect itself. It wants to survive. It wants to is afraid that it always has a limiting belief. It believes that death is always on its creeping up behind it, and I'm gonna grab you, right? So retrospection trumps reaction. Retrospection trumps reaction. Process it, process it, process it. And number 6, though. Number 6. This is one that's really important. Because you want to have that energy, you want to just control, right? So Plutonian, I want to control, I want to let go, right? It's okay to not know. This is why internal processing works when you have time alone. And then you start to breathe, you start to realize, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to not know. Okay? It's okay to not know. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to forget. And so on. That's the ups and downs of life. What you can control, control it. It's been said for thousands of years. The same message. It's all the same message. But to embrace it, to really get into that, you have to experience it yourself. I mentioned in my previous video, you need that trauma sometimes. You need that. You need that. That's where real change happens. Okay? So embrace that powerlessness. Embrace it. Embrace it. Because even though it is humiliating, it's also humbling. That's why I go back to ideas like the same thing as I said before in other videos. Be childlike. It's okay. It's okay. Laugh at yourself. Laugh. Freaking laugh at yourself. Okay. Number 7, related to all this. Slow the down. When I say slow down, I don't mean like slow, well, possibly like slow things down, as in literally slow down. Not really. That adult brain, right? If there's anything you should probably resist, is resisting itself, right? What is it? The other phrase that saying we have? You have nothing to fear but fear itself. Kind of similarly, I guess, you have nothing to resist but resistance itself. Okay, so in other words, don't resist. That adult brain, that overuse of the conscious, whatever here, wants to be perfect, wants to be right, wants to be right, wants to be right. And it's just this cycle of delusion. It's this, right? What was that other saying? What was that other saying? What was that repeating the same thing again and again, expecting a different result, is insanity. That's the adult brain. That's the one that wants to be perfect. That's the one that wants to be right. That's the one that wants to prove everything to the world, that I'm better. Or the opposite, I'm worse than you. Feeling sorry for yourself, feeling down, victimizing yourself. Right? So the subconscious natural self is the one that's going to help. Again, this is kind of why I do the Wim Hof method, because there was nothing else doing it for me. There was nothing physical. There was nothing material. There was nothing, hands-on that was really making me ground myself. But it is there. It's in nature. It's cold water. So the Wim Hof method helps me. But we're not here for the Wim Hof method. Number 8. Deep breath. Practice deep breathing. Deep breathing. Slow that heart rate down. The body will just do the rest. Because when you start breathing, you bring your attention to the breath. This isn't just some psycho whatever mumbo jumbo. Okay, it actually works. But for those people who don't try it, wah wah. Okay, wah wah. I'm saying this like I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it right now. It's just like, well, you just gotta try it for yourself. Don't knock it till you try it. But those who resist, what you resist will persist. That's how it is. Just how it is. You don't listen, okay, nature will take over. Not up to me, not up to anybody else. You decide. You decide. So, choosing change comes from the process of, what from my experience is, I used to tell myself that it's like, I'm sick and tired of being a victim. There's a difference between that and saying, I'm sick and tired of victimizing myself. I started to own the emotion. I started to feel like, oh, I'm doing this to myself. I have the power. I have the choice. No one is doing this to me. I am doing this to me. So, owning that emotion, owning the process, and say, okay, I actually have control over this. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing process. It's an amazing experience. And last but not least, number 9, always find the gemstones in your powerlessness. Find the gemstones. Find the gifts. This kind of goes back to like what people refer to today, or the book itself, The Secret. It's the law of attraction. Basically the same thing. You're finding the gift in all your weakness. I'm weak too, and that's okay. What gift can I find in weakness? I can relax. I can care less. I can process. I can heal. I can regenerate. I can introspectively do things for my own growth, for my own benefit. And that's okay to say too, like, oh yeah, I'm selfish. That's okay. Embracing that and saying, I'm selfish. Okay. Because to me, in my experience, those words have, I wouldn't say necessarily no effect, or no, I don't react to them, but I've learned to really embrace the terms and say, yeah, that's okay. I'm selfish. Thank you. Right? But really trying to figure out those things. For those people who are analytical, write it down. Write it down. Process it in yourself. Have a diary. Have a journal. That's probably number 10. Write a journal. Right? Have a journal. Write it to yourself. Process everything. Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Shit it out. Shit it out. Okay? But remember that it's okay to go through the process you're going through. It's okay. Put on a happy face if you need to. Put on a sad face. But remember that the choice is always yours. The choice and the power is always yours. It comes from finding the gifts. And this is what makes it whole. Because real goodness, or where the word God comes from, has nothing to do with positive or negative. It's being whole. So now it sounds like, oh, isn't finding the gifts in something also positive? So there is no negative? Yeah, but there's also finding the gifts from the positive. Meaning, just because you look up to someone, for example, this is part of shadow work, yes. When you look up to someone, when you like, oh, it sounds positive, right? You adore them, you put them on a pedestal. But what happens there? You give your power. You start to let go of that power and saying, I'm not that. So this has nothing to do with the positive and negative. This has more to do with, at least more to do with being whole. Right? Your wholeness is basically your essence. It's where you come from. It's where, when you see come from, I don't mean this linear understanding that it's like, oh, it starts from there and it ends here. You're talking about form. Well, reality is that, what is it? E equals mc squared. The point is, there is no actual conceptualization of how we process life. There's no reality but the reality that you make it. You choose. Right? So, I hope that helps, because I wanted to kind of express that. Specifically, I wanted to help those who are in this field of, when you're a teacher. It could be a teacher of anything. You could be you could be a guide, you could be an instructor, you could be a tutor, you could be a mentor. It doesn't matter. A position of authority, right? Why else would they say, what is it? What is that saying? That phrase, with great power comes great responsibilities, right? Yeah, that's the responsibility, both for yourself and for others. But it's never disconnected. The only reason we have a disconnect in that flow of life is because we're latched onto this, the conscious, like overuse of the conscious, the adult brain, or the ego. But at the same time, the ego has a purpose. It's there to be part of the teaching process, the learning process, the whole process, all of it. It's there to be part of it. So anyways, in any case, I'm done. That's good. I hope this helped. If you guys like any of the stuff that I posted, like and subscribe, whatever. Okay? I just hope this really helps you guys. I will see you guys later, and that's all. Peace out. Thank you.